This is the thing, it was the idea of kind of yearning for something bigger, the idea of the romanticisation of small towns and small town relationships and youth and that whole, yeah, I mean John Hughes and a time in 80s music where it wasn't, like I've said on numerous occasions, it wasn't so encumbered with like cynicism and self-awareness. There was people making records that, like So by Peter Gabriel, it's a really forward-thinking piece of work, but it's also got big international smash hits on it, and it was a pop record. And at the time, it wasn't perceived as like a bygone era of music. It wasn't so self-aware. It kind of lost its innocence when you got kind of, I don't know what, the Pixies and after that, because everything kind of grew up a little bit. But I love that time in music, you know? And I think that, like I always say, my perfect song would sound like I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston, but convey the message and the conviction of like Leonard Cohen, you know. That idea, that kind of duality is what really excites me. You know who I always thought I was going to be, who I always kind of loved, and it's not really an 80s movie, I suppose early 90s, but Rufio from Hook. That was my vibe. I mean, you can probably kind of tell still, you know, that's kind of what I've always gone for. I love Rufio. I love The Lost Boys, that movie. Any of them, I could be any of them. Us and Adam, who's our mate who directed the video for Sex, basically when we put out the album version of Sex, that came from the idea of that everything had gotten so big so quickly that we wanted to, even though people had heard the EP version of Sex, we wanted the album version out there before the album came out, you know, to kind of like impose our identity and say this is who we are. And with that, we did a new video for it, and it was in colour. It was the first video in colour, and everyone went mental about it. Everyone like freaked out, and all these kids. We were made aware that a lot of kids were saying stuff like, "Oh, they're really conforming to a major label," and they're kind of, you know, the whole cliched band getting too big and then kind of crushing at the hands of the label. And we got obsessed by that idea because it's so not true. It was so ridiculous that we wanted to make a video about that. We wanted to make a video about conforming to a major label, because music videos are silly really at the end of the day, aren't they? And I think that we really wanted to make a tongue-in-cheek video about the way that, or you know, these kind of really hipster new videos, like all the controversial blurred lines and Miley Cyrus and all that kind of thing. We just wanted to make a pop video that was really aware that it was a pop video. That's the whole thing. That's to provoke conversation about it. That was the whole point. We knew that it was going to obviously split people down the middle, but whatever, it was funny. Yeah, it would have been to be in the studio with Michael Jackson, but that ain't going to happen. Maybe I get to work with someone like Prince or something like that. That would be good. I'd be up for that.